Agents. I wanted to create a quick video that walks you through a question that I get asked a lot, which is I have more than 2 buyers or more than 2 sellers that I need to be able to sign or initial Docusign documents. So the first thing that we're going to do is, just like with any other transaction, if there were just 2 buyers or 2 sellers, and I did this as a buyer one, we would go into the details section in Docusign and we're going to put buyer number 1, and then underneath that we're going to put buyer number 2. Now we might say that there's 3 buyers or 4 buyers, and even though there's only 2 spaces for buyers here, that's okay. So we're going to add buyer number 1 and buyer number 2 into the details, just like we would in any other transaction. The next step is we'll go into documents, we'll pull those documents in, we'll fill out the documents completely, and once we have them ready to be sent, we're going to go in and create an envelope. So we're going to choose envelopes, then we're going to create a new envelope. We're going to name this one maybe offer documents or whatever it might be. Then we're going to add the documents to the envelope. So I'm going to add the 2 documents that I added to the room. So we want both of these to get signed. As a reminder, if you want to move the order or have them in a different order, this is where you can do that. So we can just drag and drop if we'd like them to be in a different order. Underneath that, we're going to add recipients to the envelope. So we're going to choose that drop-down menu. We're going to choose pre-tag roles for both buyer 1 and buyer 2. Because we added them into the details section, that comes up as an option. So I'm going to check the box next to them, and then I'm going to say that I am going to send it to this one, and then this person is buyer number 2. So this is where we're probably at the point where we're pretty comfortable with this and we've done this before. So we've got buyer 1, buyer 2. When we need to add buyer 3 or buyer 4, or the same thing for the seller side, we're going to choose add recipient. This time we're going to come down here just to email address. And we're going to say that this is Beth Buyer. We'll give her an email address. And then we'll even do a 4th one. And we'll say that this is Ben Buyer. Now, you'll see we've got them in the order of 1111, which means that they're all going to receive the documents at the same time. They're going to be able to initial and sign them all at the same time. Then you'll get back that final document with all 4 initials and signatures. If we wanted to change that and we wanted this person to sign everything first, then this person, and so on, we could change this to 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm just going to leave it this way for now. And then you'll see that we do have needs to sign next to all of these. So then we'll come down here. Whatever we want to put in the message, we'll put down here. And then I'm going to hit next, which is the yellow button at the top right. All right, so now we've got our document loaded. And so we're going to scroll down here and you see that we've got buyer 1, buyer 2. So again, that's because we put them in the details section. But if we look up here at the top left, we've got a drop-down menu of all 4 buyers that we've added. So if we need buyer 3 and buyer 4 to also sign, we can click on the 3rd buyer, which in this instance is Ben, and then we're going to say we need him to sign. And so we might take that, drag and drop that, and maybe we want that to go right here. And then we also want to drop a date that this was signed. So we're going to take that and maybe move that right next to it. And then we're going to do the same thing. We've got the drop-down menu up here. We're going to pick the 4th person. And again, we want a signature. So we're going to drag and drop that one. Then we also want a date signed. So we're going to drag and drop that one. So now you'll see buyer 1 and buyer 2 with the signatures were already there. We just dropped in 3 and 4 and added the date that it was signed. Over here, we've got the same thing where we've got buyers. And so we might come right over here and say, okay, we need buyer number 3, we want this to be a signature as well. And then we're going to drop a date signed maybe right on top. We might move it over here. And then we'll do the same thing here. We're going to come to buyer number 4. We're going to do the signature. And then we're going to do the date that that was signed over here. And then we'll come down here and we would do the same thing just down here. So again, we've got buyer number 3. Take that signature, take the date that it was signed, and same thing with the 4th. We're going to take that signature over here, and then the date that it was signed. And so then once you've prepared all the documents, you've got all 4 or however many signatures you need, either on the buyer side or the seller side, we would just hit send. Once they've initialed or signed and it does the date for them, it would all come back with all 4 signatures together. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much for watching and have a fantastic day.